Right, everyone, it looks like we're live, but it always takes a minute to get all updated. So I am just going to get everything up on my phone. There we go. Perfect. All right, so on my laptop, on my phone, we are good to go. Hi, friends. Welcome to our Tuesday live. All right, got that up on our phone here. All right, well, welcome to this week's card making live. We are excited to have you. I'm going to be using some brand new products today, of course. Ooh, while I think about it, I'm going to flip my hot foil machine on because we are going to foil. We're going to do a little bit of BetterPress. We're going to do all the things today. So it's going to be a rather simple card design because I decided to showcase both foiling and BetterPress techniques, but I think it's going to turn out really quite fun. All right, Heather has joined us. She is the person behind the scenes chatting underneath the Pinkfresh studio name. So before we get going, welcome. Once I flip the camera around, I don't see as many comments, but Heather is there in the live chat and she catches pretty much most of what I miss. So, but if we both miss it, feel free to ask again, or if you know the answer to the question, feel free to answer it as well. So we had our February Pure Joy release went live yesterday. Um, so that is available in our online shop. Tons of really fantastic goodies. Keep in mind that there is both a blog hop and an Instagram hop going on. There's three chances to win the entire release out there. So on our blog hop post, on our intro video that went live yesterday, and then on our Instagram hop post as well. All chances to win the entire thing. And then there are 20 chances to win $25 gift card codes, 10 along the blog hop and another 10 along the Instagram hop. Those will all be picked randomly from the comments. So you definitely will want to check out both if you haven't had a chance to yet. And those will be, or giveaway winners will be shared on our giveaway page on March 5th. Okay, I'll release logistics out there for that. Someone just mentioned they're having 71-degree weather in Iowa. It was in like the mid 60s yesterday here in Minnesota. And then it's been relatively nice this morning, but I think we have like snow coming in this afternoon. So weather is definitely totally bonkers right now. And then I think we have like a little bit of cold, and then we're going to go right back up into the 50s and 60s. So very strange. All right. So before we get going, we're waiting for my hot foil system to heat up anyway, but we do give away a $15 gift card code at the end of every live. So all you have to do is what you're already currently doing, just chatting along in the live chat. Heather will randomly pick a winner from all of the chat to win today. A way that you can also gain an extra entry into this is underneath this video, there is a little arrow button and it has the word share next to it. If you click that and share somewhere, there are lots of different places you could share. You could share directly to your Facebook feed. You could share to your Instagram stories. You could share if you have like a crafting email or message or WhatsApp with crafty friends, you could share it there. And then finally, if there is a crafting group that you frequent on Facebook that they allow links like this to be shared, then definitely feel free to share there. Just make sure it's allowed. Come back here, let us know in the comments that you shared, and it is an extra entry into the giveaway. Sharing just helps this videos reach both now while it's live and then also on the replay. One final thing, not any extra giveaways or anything like that, but if you could press the thumbs up button on this video as well, that also helps the videos reach and it is really super helpful for us. All right, gone over all the logistics, still waiting for my hot foil system to be fully warm. So we will keep chatting until I get the little green button go lit up there. So, and then finally, if you're new, welcome. I probably won't see if you mention that you're new, but welcome to both new and if you have been frequenting our lives for a long time now, we're happy you're all here. And if you are new, we hope you enjoy what you see and you will keep coming back. Oh, I'm happy to hear that you guys are enjoying the release yesterday. Lots of really fantastic products in it. So you'll definitely want to check that out and check out all of the giveaways happening and all of that. All right. Well, I think I'll go ahead and flip my camera around anyway, even though my hot foil system isn't quite ready yet. And we'll take a look at the product that I'm going to use today. Excuse me. Okay. Right. Got my video settings all correct here. I think I'm going to open my window just a little bit to let a little more light in. Perfect. All right. So as you can see, we're still waiting for my hot foil system to finish heating up. But let's take a look at what I'm going to use today. So I thought it would be fun to use the Garden Tapestry collection. Now I'll end up only using a sentiment from Stamp Set because I'm going to focus on the press plate today. Now this is a press plate, so it can be used on your BetterPress system. And we are going to actually BetterPress with one of the new backgrounds a little bit later on. But I thought it would be fun to also show how beautifully they foil. So we've got the go ahead on my system to start foiling. So I am just going to put the press plate onto the platform there, and I am going to hit the timer button. So we are going to foil today. Of course, we'll use the stencils to ink blend the color in. We'll use the die set, and actually we will use a sentiment from the stamp set as well. So today I'm going to foil in matte gold foil. This is one of my very favorite foils. I just love how soft and beautiful it is. Um, and it foils really lovely as well. So I've already got that all trimmed down and ready to go once the hot foil system is all heated up. So while it's finishing up its heat up process here, I'm going to go ahead and get my desk set up foiling. I've got kind of limited space here for the foiling process. So I'll try to make it so you can see as much as possible. But of course, you've only got so much room. If I had like multiple cameras set up, I would have like a camera over a different area for foiling and all of that. But alas, I just have the one set up. So we will do we will make do with what we have, right? All right, so we're good to go. It's heated up. Let's go ahead and get this going now. Something that I always do is, at least on my hot foil system, I have heard that the newer ones, the platform releases a little bit easier from the base, but I'm still using my older one. You know, I use things until they go bad. So, but my platform is a little bit harder to remove from the base. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that now before I add any of the sandwiching to it, because I don't want my foiling to move on me. I don't want it to start foiling and then have it move. So I'm going to remove that first, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the foil pretty side down over top. I'm going to add my cardstock. This is just 100-pound Hammermill smooth white cardstock. And then the two shims that come with the system. I'm going to put the frosted green one first. It is the heat resistant plate. So it is the one that should go closer to the heat source. And then I'm just going to gently run it through my Spellbinders Platinum 6. I don't feel the need to run it back and forth. I feel like our plates do a great job just with the one time. And then let's take a look and see how our results. And that literally turned out perfect. I'm getting like quite a bit of glare showing it that way. So it just turned out totally lovely. Okay, we're actually done foiling. So I will solid foil this later. We have other steps to do, so I don't have time to show the solid foiling today. But I will do that later. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my system off. And we are going to switch over to BetterPress. So I'm going to just set aside my foil panel for now. We'll come back to it when it's time to ink blend. But let's go ahead and grab our BetterPress system now. And we're going to do a really lovely BetterPress background with our new dotted petals. So let's put this up here so it's a little bit easier to see. Maybe if I just tone down the light a little. There we go. Oh, I'm glad you guys like that. Okay, So now we've got our BetterPress system here. Let's go ahead and add our cotton paper to of course, now I have forgotten the names of everything because it's been a while since I did a BetterPress project. So I may forget all of the names, but we're going to use this thin little tape to tape down our cotton paper to I'm not sure if this is called the platen or not. Anyway, the thing that has the guidelines on it, that's what we're going to tape our paper down to. So for this one, because I wanted the paper to be as white as possible, I am using the Spellbinders porcelain cotton paper for my card today. All right, so that goes and fits where it's supposed to. So let's go ahead and put the dotted petals right there in the middle and get it nice and lined up here. That's just the great thing about this little piece behind it is it's a magnet. So that plate stays right in place. It is a really fantastic part of that. And I am going to grab my ink cubes really quickly. So I'm only going to end up using 3. I think I'm going to use Cherry Blossom, Sunkissed, and Ocean Breeze today. Waterfall I'm just going to be using on the ink blended panel. So let's go ahead and we're going to do just a lovely little gradient here. So we're going to start with Sunkissed. And let me see, how many rows of petals are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I think we'll go 3, 3, and then we'll do a row of 4 in the middle. And, they'll overlap a little bit, so that's okay. So I'm going to start with Sunkissed. And I like ink cubes for this just because it's a little bit easier to control and you don't get ink all over the back of your BetterPress system. But if you don't have ink cubes, you totally can use your standard ink pads as well. So keep that in mind. You do not have to have ink cubes in order to use the BetterPress system. It's just a little bit more convenient, a little more handy. Okay, so we've got the dotted petal, the start of Sunkissed. We are going to come in with Cherry Blossom, and I am going to overlap that a little bit with the Sunkissed, just so it's not as harsh of a line. And we will go all the way down to where I have about 3 of those petals left here. Okay, and I'll probably overlap those just a tiny bit. And then we're going to go ahead and grab Ocean Breeze and come in and add our final little bit of inking to our press plate here. So the great thing about this press plate is you can also foil with it, of course, like we just did with the Garden Tapestry press plate. And you can also dry emboss with it. So, and you can either dry emboss with your BetterPress system, or last week I showcased how you can dry emboss with just your universal plate system and your Platinum 6. All right, let's go ahead and put the top piece on, and we are going to run this through our die cut machine really quick. Okay, just gonna run that through nice and gently. Was a little loud, but I think Zoom probably muted that. It is good about that. And we are going to see how our results turned out here. Sorry, I just got to move some things around so I have a little bit of room. And look at how lovely that turned out. Hopefully you can see the color gradation in there. I think I had a little fuzzy on my ink cube, but that's okay because the Garden Tapestry piece is going to come over top of that. So I'm not going to worry about that little minor detail there. But didn't that turn out just lovely? Super fun. All right, so I am going to just wipe down my press plate here with a damp cloth. The ink cleans off of it really super easy, friends. So now if you were using something more like an archival ink or like our detail black ink, I would probably do a little bit more extensive cleaning. Um, than this, but with the dye inks, it really doesn't need it. So I'm just wiping it down and then I will set this aside and let it dry before I go ahead and put it back in its packaging. So let's, maybe if I can get the tape off, my goodness, friends. All right, let's remove our BetterPress panel from it. We can go ahead and put all of those machines away really quickly. I am kind of a clean as you go kind of girl, so just bear with me. We are going to trim, or excuse me, cut this panel down really quickly. I'm going to go ahead and get that done. I'm just going to die cut it down with that largest stitched rectangle. So you'll notice I wasn't worried about the fact that I kind of didn't line it up perfectly because I'm going to trim it down. So really didn't matter. I probably would have been a little bit more bummed out if I was going to be using this panel in full, but I am not. So next time I'll just be more careful about lining it up a bit better, but it's going to be perfectly fine since I'm going to go ahead and trim this down. So let me grab my cutting plates here and we'll get this cut out first, and then we'll get going on ink blending up that foiled piece. All right. I just need a couple pieces of tape. I think I have used up all of my little extra pieces I've had. We had a busy weekend with Create and Connect teaching and all of that. And I think in general, all of the little bits of tape I had around got nice and used up. All right, so let's go ahead and cut that. I will be right back. We can see that final result. All right. And look at that. Ended up completely perfect. You never knew that I missed. I didn't line it up very well. All right. Okay, let me get these removed here. Just changing, I'm just getting my desk switched around, friends, and then we will start the ink blending. All right. I am going to use my grip mat. I just gave it a little wash, so hopefully it will be nice and sticky. And since I'd already had the ink cubes out, I'm just going to go ahead and use them today for the ink blending process, just so I don't have to have multiple inks out here. The areas are relatively small to ink blend in anyway, pardon me. So the ink cubes will work perfectly fine for that. Yes, you guys, the Pinkfresh Studio inks work beautifully with the BetterPress. I like some better than the other. I definitely tend to lean towards the lighter colors, but that, that's just more my personal preference anyway. And you definitely get a lot of beautiful detail on that. Okay, let's go ahead and grab our stencils. And I think I'm going to use the stencils just right in order today. And let's blend this beautiful tapestry image in. Okay, there we go. Someone I think asked if we had used hybrid inks with the BetterPress, and yes. So our Detail Black ink is a hybrid ink, and it works beautifully on the BetterPress. So at least our hybrid ink works. I haven't used any other hybrid inks, so I can't speak to anything else, but it does ink up and I don't know what to call the action. Is it just press? It presses beautifully? If you know, let us know in the comments. Like I'm kind of still figuring out all of these, like what words, what verbs to use for BetterPress. All right, if you look on the back of the packaging, we've got, I notice I'm using a lot of the same colors as the packaging today. We've got a mock-up on the back to give you an idea of what it will look like. I am going to start with Cherry Blossom. So I'm going to just move my inks around a little bit here so that the one will be closest to me that I want to use here. Tina is asking if I ever use the 1/4 inch blending brushes. I do use them, just not as much as I use the 1/2 inch. They're really nice for getting into really, really small areas. I probably could use them today even. Um, but you'll notice there are a little bit larger areas. So I do use them just typically on really small areas when there's a really detailed area. I would say I definitely reach for my 1/2 inch brushes a little bit more frequently. And for the most part, I am going to take this cherry blossom directly to the stencil because these are very small little elements here. And I I'm not going to really worry much about gradation or anything like that today. There's not much area to really do all that much gradation in here. So it's mostly just about getting these little areas all well covered in. Susie squishes nicely. That's a verb. That's a good one. Squish. Squish it. That made me laugh. We get these new things and like foiling one, it kind of came a little naturally, foiling. Foiling is the verb. I'm still trying to figure out the verb pressing. Letterpress, I mean, it's kind of like letterpress, but yeah. So anyway, now you guys know what my brain thinks of while I am crafting and doing things. It just wanders and thinks of random stuff. What is the verb for BetterPress? I think I'm feeling pretty good about that. I'm just gonna wipe this down with a dry lint-free cloth really quickly, just so I don't make a mess of my fingers. And we will move on to the next one. But there is the start of our image, and isn't that so pretty? I am just loving it on the gold foiling. I wish you could see the shine that's reflecting in here. All right, just sticking in order, moving on to stencil number 2. It's nice and lined up really quickly. There we go. Okay, for this one, I am going to do this guy in Sunkiss. I am basically following the mock-up on the back. That's okay. It's a good mock-up. Okay. Let's do get the sun-kissed color blended in here. I love this shade. I actually really, really love Cherry Blossom and Sun-kissed together. I think that they just complement each other beautifully. Okay, so you'll notice I'm kind of avoiding the little dots. I mean, it's okay if a little bit gets over top of them. I am really not that worried about it because it's orange and it won't ruin those images by any means. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back in with Cherry Blossom and just darken the Cherry Blossom in there. It's possible I'll end up covering those with jewels anyway. I don't know for sure, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and add a little cherry blossom to those since they are cherry blossom um, flowers underneath. And that is made super easy with our small little 1/2 inch brushes here. Here we go. All right, there is stencil number 2. Our image is coming right along. All right, we are moving on to stencil number 3. Uh, I'm assuming Zoom probably mutes it, but my cute little Cocker Spaniel is in here with me and she's just snoring away on her fluffy little bed. It's pretty darn cute. Um, Someone just asked what I am ink blending on. This is a grip mat. This is the one from Altenew that comes in the stamp wheel. But I believe they do sell them individually now as well. And I think I just saw that they came out with a larger one as well. So I've been really enjoying grip mats. Saves up on use of tape. You can um, clean it when it's not sticky anymore, so it'll be sticky again. So I've been really enjoying the grip mat. I think for Heather, she said the verdict is still out, but Heather likes to be able to move her image to her, and I like things to stay stationary. So grip mats probably lend themselves a little bit more towards my blending preferences than Heather. So that's what that is. All right, so we are blending this third layer in with Ocean Breeze. Okay. Jennifer said her Cocker Spaniel used to snore too. Yeah, this girl, my Cocker she is 18 years old. She turned 18 last fall. So she's an old girl. She is, but she still is doing relatively well considering she's well past her lifespan age. Okay. So I think that layer is done. We've got just one layer left to ink blend here. And this one is going to be quite similar. I'm just moving up to Waterfall, which is our lightest shade of our turquoise. So very similar to Ocean Breeze, but a little bit different in terms of the shade. And so I think it's going to be really pretty together here. All right, I'm going to bring this a little closer to me. I think I lined that up well. Yeah. All right. Final little bit here. Yeah, and the waterfall will blend just a little bit deeper because my ink pad is a little bit juicier as well. And it's got just a little bit more of a blue tone than that Ocean Breeze does. So I think these are going to be a really nice combo on something that I'm trying to keep pretty pastel and delicate. Oh, thank you, Emily. That's very kind. Glad you like these zip color choices. Right. Thanks, guys. I'm glad you're enjoying this. Like I said, it's going to be a pretty simple card design because I wasn't sure how long foiling and BetterPress would take. Actually going relatively quickly, but um, I have an idea of something I might add to this card as well. So I just might have to grab the ingredients for it really quickly. We'll see. It's that crafting on the fly. Sometimes you don't think about it until you're already doing it. Oh, sorry, there's hair. Ah. Okay, we are officially done with the ink blending. Let's take a look at the final reveal here. Oh, and that turned out just so pretty. Oh my goodness. Let me get it off the grip mat really quickly. I like to peel the grip mat away from the actual panel so that it doesn't ren, ren, goodness, round out or bend the paper. So That is so pretty. The foiling kind of goes all overexposed when I angle it towards my window there, but it turned out so pretty. Oh my goodness. Right. I will clean with stencils later, but let's go ahead and get this guy cut out really quickly. We've got the nice big die that just cuts around the entire tapestry there. So, I think the waterfall turned out really nice. It is really lovely with the ocean breeze. Actually, I do love how that turned out. All right. Let me get my cutting plate. And we will get this cut out. This is very dainty lines, so I'm going to make sure I take time to line it up nice and even. And then I'm going to tape it down. I'm going to use this tape, and then I think I'm going to go in and grab this little bit of those little pieces of yellow tape I used as well, just to make sure it's nice and taped down. I don't want this guy to go anywhere. I'll be right back once it's die cut. And look at how lovely that turns out. All cut out. All right, let's get the tape removed. Oh, no worries, Diane. Of course, this will be available on replay right after I end the live. So you can definitely rewatch the beginning where I do the foiling and the BetterPress once the replay is available. All right, we will come back to that die set because we will use a sentiment from the set here at one point. But let's go ahead and grab. So we've got our BetterPress background. So I kind of thought that this might be the case. I love them together, but I think I need to add a little something to it in order to kind of make this pop off that background a little bit more. So give me 1 second. I just have to grab a die set. Okay, so I think that this stitched scallop rectangle set is going to help. I hope it's in stock. I didn't think to look, but I have this gold, goodness, grabbing all these other pieces already pre-cut here. And I feel like at least one of them, oh, I have this one's already glued together. I might have to recut these. Hold on. Because that one is trimmed apart. Well, we'll see here. I may end up having to cut these because I think I just want to use one of them to kind of help offset this. And I think that will be really nice. So we're going to go ahead and do that together really quickly. Jennifer, I think you could probably use one of, we have so many circle dies in different sizes between our essentials sets that have the decorative edges, but a lot of those decorative edges also have plain edged. And then our nested circles, I bet you there is one in there that would work. Okay. Well, here, let's grab some of this paper here. And we are going to, oh, goodness. Really quickly cut this frame set out again. And I do like to use the bubble mailer method with this guy, just because I really like to get those stitched impressions in really well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim down a bubble mailer to the size of the die, and then basically it's acting as my shim. Goodness, having trouble putting my scissors away over there. This is gold pearl cardstock from Tonic, I believe. just for reference. I think I saw somebody ask where it's from. All right, so bubble mailer behind the cutting sandwich here. And that's just gonna help me get a nice, good deep cut on that and make sure that stitching works really well. All right. Oh, goodness, that really stuck on there, didn't it? So when you do that, what I love about that is it just makes that stitching impression really, really good on there. Okay. So I've got those frames ready. I may end up only using one of them, but I think they're going to be a nice little um, element. Sorry, I dropped an ink cube on my floor, on my hardwood floor, so I had to grab that really quickly. Okay, so then I have a few different color card bases because I wasn't exactly sure which color I would want today. So we're going to do some testing. Can already tell you I don't like that one. So it's going to be between the pink and the orange. We're going to have one of these frames on it. Okay, let me look at this on the pink really quickly. I think I really enjoy the orange, actually, that kind of peachy tone. So that is what I'm going to go with. All right, we are going to layer this guy up with dimension today. Isn't the bubble mailer magic? I just love it too. So I want to show you guys something that I do, um, just because I'm frugal by nature. So I want to pop this whole panel up with foam, and I happen to just finish up using a piece of the panels of the foam dots that you get. So I'm going to use this today and just trim it down to size. And so I need to cut just about down the middle of these guys right here. That. And so the great thing about this is you can actually use this now as an entire panel of foam. The little holes in there really don't make a difference. Um, it still basically acts like an entire panel of foam tape. So you all know I'm frugal and I don't like to waste things. And this is just a perfect way to not waste that little, the little outer piece. And I don't really worry about those little inner things. I don't pull them out. You can if you want to. Um, but I don't worry about it. I just leave them in there. They're not going to hurt anything. And then you have an entire panel of foam tape and you haven't wasted. So just a little tip if you are frugal like me. All right, I think I'm just going to use the inner guy on this one today, and that just really helps. Yeah, I just think that really helps differentiate the because they're so similar in colors. I think that really helps differentiate the two pieces. So I'll set aside that bigger frame to use later, but I'm going to put foam on this guy as well. I'm going to stick with my handy little thin foam strips that I love to use for these ones, for this one. And we're just going crazy with the foam today. Now, of course, if you were recreating this card and you wanted it to be a little bit more post office friendly, you absolutely could skip the dimensional the dimensional part and just glue it down with tape runner or liquid glue, whatever your preference is on that. Let's see. Love to hear how many of you are loving the new release and getting your orders placed. It'll be can't wow, we're excited to see what you guys create with all of these new products as well. So feel free to share them with us. You can share in our Facebook friends group. You can tag us on Instagram. Or I think you can tag us on Facebook too. Um, I don't know how easy it is. I'm not to see on Facebook as it is on Instagram, but you can definitely share in both those places. And we can't wait to see what you guys create. All right. So there is that. Me too, Leanne. I like to add dimension to everything. I just keep those butterfly stamps on hand, the like non-machinable ones that are meant for when your card has too much dimension. I just keep those on hand. This gold frame centered as much as we possibly can here. There we go. Perfect. And then that will sit just right on top. And I think this is going to have like a nice, like a really lovely kind of vintage, somewhat Victorian feel to it when all is said and done. All right, I'll go ahead and just use up this other piece here. I mean, we might as well, right? So then it's out of my craft room and used up and didn't go to waste at all. So let's see. Be about right there. Heck, I just barely made it. And then I'm going to cut this little guy in half and we will add it just onto each side here. All right. And I think I might just do a little fluffing of just the little filigree elements at the bottom, just to give it a little bit of added dimension there. Paper fluffing. Haven't snuggled anything yet, but we're doing a little fluffing. I don't know if I'm going to snuggle anything on this card. That's kind of a sad day. Sure, it's at least fairly centered. Oh, yeah, you have to take the relief paper off. Goodness. Nothing's going to stick if you don't remove the release paper. Gracious, Leah. As you can tell, still kind of running a little bit on fumes today. We had a very busy, hectic weekend. Super fun, full of fun, but of course, for Heather and I, very busy and hectic with our Create and Connect event happening. So there we go. Oh, I think that is turning out so pretty. I love it. All right. We need a sentiment for it. I just gotta put some things out of my way here. So let's grab that stamp set. And I think I'm going to use the thank you for making me smile sentiment. And I think we'll just this one will kind of snuggle it up here. Here, I used the word snuggle. Oh, that's funny. Sandra, yeah, I'd turn it into a clock. That would be funny. All right. Oh, cute little puppy out there. All right, so let's go ahead and grab this sentiment out here. And move this out of my way. Got a little piece of scrap cardstock here that we can stamp the sentiment to. Probably do it that way. Should still have enough room to cut around it, I think. All right, and I think because we've got so much gold and lightness going on, I'm going to go ahead and stamp this nice and crisply, pardon me, in detail black ink, just so that that sentiment will really stand out. Now, if you frequent our lives at all, you'll know that I like to just stamp sentiments nice and lightly and just stamp them twice so that you keep that nice daintiness intact. So I don't push too hard. I don't smush too much ink into it. I just kind of very gently kiss the top surface of the stamp and then just lightly touch so that it keeps the nice crispness and daintiness of the sentiment. All right. Because this is detail black, I'm going to go ahead and get this cleaned off really quickly. Nice. Oh, goodness. I need to pull that out first. All right. I'm going to grab my small die cut machine. And we are going to cut the sentiment out and probably cut a couple of layers out as well. So then we can just glue it directly down. Probably have put enough foam tape on this card by now already. And I like to just take a little bit of extra time to make sure I get that die nice and lined up. Oh, and of course, I'm moving it around with my fingertips here. Great, I think that looks pretty good. Oh, you're welcome, Kay Andrew. Kat is asking, are sentiments made for BetterPress sets or just stamping or hot foiling? We actually do have a sentiment set that we released in December. I'm unsure. I know it sold out. I'm unsure if it, gosh, that one did not cut very well right there. Well, we may end up restamping. Let me see if I can line this back up. And maybe I'll add a little shim because it just did not cut very well. Maybe it needs to be more in the middle. It was at the very edge. So let's try this again. One thing about our dies is they are pretty easy to line back up. So if you have something that didn't cut very well, I'm going to see if just adding that more towards the middle of that little plate will help it cut a little bit more evenly. I probably have it too close to the end. But sometimes our dies actually are pretty easy to line back up if they didn't cut very well the first time. So let's see if this did better. It sure did. It was just, I had put it down too low on the plate. Now let's cut out a couple more layers and we will stack these guys. Yeah, lots of options. If you found like a die didn't cut very well, you can always rotate your plates. You can move the area of where that die was located. I wasn't really thinking at that point, and it definitely was just a little too low on the plate. I tend to think that they do a little bit better when you run them through the middle. Yeah, because that one came out so much easier that time. And then let's cut one more layer for good measure. At this point, I've added so much dimension to the card. What's a little bit of extra dimension? Anyway, what I was saying, we do have the one sentiment set so far for BetterPress. And they do make them. So you definitely can get sentiment for that. And then, of course, what we have found is you can also use those sentiments for foiling as well. All right, we should add and stacking it here. These guys really quick. Okay. Ooh, I was saying about liquid glue, got a little time to make sure you line those layers up nice and straight so they're not wonky. Okay, that might be a little much. It's definitely not 6 inches thick. Oh, just slap a butterfly stamp on it. It's fine. Everything's fine. Okay. Oh, Cheryl, so a butterfly stamp. So here in the US, we have non-machinable stamps for cards that are thick like this, and they have butterflies on them. So I always just say, slap a butterfly stamp on it because then you can send your overly dimensional cards um, out with no issue. So that's what the butterfly is. But that's so pretty. I just love how that sentiment kind of looks perfect right there. That is so cute. All right, I am not going to add foam tape to that guy. We are just going to stick it right down to the top of the card so that this card is not 6 inches in dimension. Thanks, guys. Glad you're enjoying it. It's a pretty simple card today. Um, but hopefully you enjoyed the couple of techniques we got to see and the colors, of course. Oh, goodness. Throwing things down. Thankfully, that glue dries clear. Right. I'm gonna make sure this looks straight. There we go. All right. So let's grab some embellishments. These are the sparkling champagne pearls. And I have a feeling I may need to grab a couple trays to do this because I know I want the smallest little, I'm going to need quite a few of those little small ones. And they tend, well, to kind of get stuck towards the bottom. So, whoa, flinging pearls around. So I'm going to probably empty out a few and probably just try to find all the little small guys. You technically get more small ones, I think. They just gather at the very bottom of the um, packaging. So I'm just trying to manually grab more of those little teeny tiny guys out. Okay. I think I must have a little glue on my fingers because things are just sticking. And the great thing about the pearls is they typically, if you do the little wiggle action, they flip right over. You know, Charlotte, I can't remember off the top of my head exactly how much the butterfly stamps are in addition. Um, Anybody knows that, feel free to answer, but I honestly, I don't actually remember. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of accenting here. Okay. And then stuff around here. Right. Let's see, where else do I want to put these beautiful pearls? I just love these sparkling champagne pearls. I think they're so pretty.
Yeah, I guess complication that skew is what it translates, right? That barcode is set.
Oh, thank you, Jane. That's really kind of you. Right. One is kind of being blocked by um the sentiment. So I'll just leave it blank there. No, I don't. That. I think we might call that good. Go. Put these away so I don't knock jewels all over my or pearls all over my desk. All right, here we go. Well, the pearl I definitely want to avoid the big bulky stamps if you're sending a bunch of Christmas cards out. But I don't mind the added cost on a card here and there. All right, this is just, I think I must have an air bubble in here. Give me 1 second because it's just globbing on way too much glue. So give me 1 second here. Don't freak when it does that. Okay. Sure. Now hopefully, there we go. Now it's not globbing a whole bunch of glue in all my little spots there. So much better. I don't like it when they do that.
that makes it items, key items, soft loads, whatever we get, that's how.
Almost done accenting here. All right. I think I like how that looks. Oh, I can tell the storm is making its way in. It's starting to get much darker out in my area. It was all sunshiny and nice. And now it's starting to get a little bit darker out there. And that is today's card. I just love how it kind of has like a vintage vibe to it with the background. Almost looks like wallpaper behind the tapestry. All right, friends, that is my card for you today. Let me get my camera flipped around really quickly. I'm not sure what the lighting is going to look like on this because the lighting in my room has totally changed, but I think we're okay. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me today. Let me see if I can get a little bit extra light in here. Just make it more glary. Oh, well, it's okay. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Oh, goodness. Heather is on her game. Congratulations to Leanne Party. You have won today's $15 gift card code. So she gave you all the information there for claiming your prize. But all you do is email me. My email is leah@pinkfreshstudio.com. There's no H on the end of my name. So just LEA@pinkfreshstudio.com and then give me a few business days to get back to you with that. Kind of does look like a little Persian rug, doesn't it? Like that's a good description as well. All right, friends, thanks so much for joining me. I saw a lot of talk about the butterfly stamps and rates and stuff. I actually don't know. I just grab them when I have to make a run at the post office really quickly. So I just pay whatever they tell me. So I don't know the actual rate on all of those. Okay, so that is today's card making live. We actually have quite a few things going on this week. So we've got card making live today. I am pretty sure we have scrapbooking live on Thursday, same time, same place. I'm not completely sure who it's with this week, but we would love for you to join us. And then Saturday we have craft hour with Jeff Lindbergh. You can already see who the guest is because we have it scheduled in there. So I'll just go ahead and share now that our very own Isha Gupta will be Saturday's craft hour guest. So Isha has designed now two products for us, one in the January release and then one in this February Pure Joy release, the Breezy Blossoms product suite. So they will be featuring that. You'll get to meet Isha and hang out with both of them, both Jeff and Isha on Saturday at noon as well. So everything, same time, same place, just different days. So 12 p.m. Central here on our YouTube channel. Oh, and thank you. Heather said this Thursday, we are live with Natalie for a scrapbooking live. So Thursday, 12 p.m. Central, Saturday, 12 p.m. Central craft hour. All right, friends, that's everything that I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. And hopefully we will see you here on both Thursday and Saturday. Thanks, friends. Have a great day.